Dobro večer svima. Hi everybody. I sad ne znam kome da se obraćam na engleskom pre nego što krenemo, odnosno pre nego što nam se pridruži Gary. Hvala svima što ste se odazvali i rešili da se pridružite ovom našem zajedničkom live-u. Meni je, naravno sa Garijem smo se čuli i privatno, tako da je ovo meni znanje na neki način često i dostupno, a Gari je sjajan i želeo je da to podeli na naš poziv, naravno i sa vama. Ne znam koliko ste raspoloženi večeras, ali ja sam jako raspoložena i mnogo volim da postavljam pitanja Gariju i da čujem njegove odgovore iz razloga što ima nekako dobar uvid u situaciju, u preduzetništvu i konkretno u korišćenju novih medija, odnosno društvenih mreža. Volim da pričam na temu strategije sa njim i to su nekako teme koje svakako su korisne svima vama koji se trudite da budete preduzetnici i znam i videla sam pitanja koje ste poslali. Imam ih pripremljene ispred sebe. On će nam se pridružiti za par minuta, a eto svakako možete da mi napišete u komentarima čime se bavite i da mogu da otprilike znam i kako da ga uputim u to ko je sada u publici. Hvala vam svima na srcima, evo šaljem i ja vama srca i drago mi je što sam večeras preuzela i ovu mrežu originala. Thank you, Maha. I was speaking in Serbian for our friends, but as soon as Gary comes, I will make sure I switch to English. Ne znam, htjela sam također da vam najavim da pre nego što počnemo imate da kupite Garijeve knjige u našim knjižarama i mi ćemo također da podelimo 3 poklona knjige nakon ovog live-a. Tako da reći ćemo vam naknadno u storijima, pogledajte koje su uslovi. Nisam sigurna da ja to mogu da baš da vam tačno opišem. Malo se zbunim kada gledam vaše komentare. Kad dođe Gary, ja ću da ih isključim, pošto već imam vaša pitanja koje ste svi slali i na taj način ću moći i njega bolje da pratim. Zdravo, Saša Simović. Nadam se da dobro provodite vreme. Bavim se izradom 100% prirodnih mirisnih svećama sa motivacijskim citatima. Edukativni centar. Tako je preporuka svima da slušaju Garijev podcast i ja ga često slušam. Pozdravit ću ga svakako. Da, videla sam, Tanja, da ste pisali da se bavite njim u vašem završnom radu. Vrlo mi je interesantno to. I zapratila sam i vas knjiški zaloga i mnogo mi je simpatično to što radite, baš sjajno. I Milenkovićka, znam da si bloger. Otprilike ja i znam Nash Community originala i pratim šta se dešava. Evo, dnevna doza vina. Interesantno, to bi Garyu baš bilo interesantno da priča. Psiholog. Vera Stefanović Ludos, da, i vas znam i pratim. Super, sjajno. Baš mi je drago da je original okupio tako jednu divnu zajednicu ljudi i da vi kroz našu platformu možete da pronađete motivaciju i da pronađete način kako da razvijate vaše ideje i da razvijate. Evo je Finesa, izdavačka kuća, tako je. Izdavačka kuća Finesa, u njoj možete da pronađete da pronađete Garijeve knjige. Ipak su njegovi, evo ga Gary. Hi Gary, I'm gonna get you on straight away. Thanks for coming so we don't waste your time. He's just connecting, so get ready.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Happy to do it.
Thank you. Shall I jump straight on you, or should I give you some time to breathe?
No breathing necessary.
No breathing necessary. Okay, I want to just turn off commenting so that doesn't go over your head. I was chatting a little bit with our community to get a sense of what everybody's doing and what their entrepreneurial endeavors are. But basically, they've sent all of their questions, and they are excited, so super excited and grateful to have you tonight. They are following your podcast and following what you're doing. Well done for everything.
Thank
for
you.
Inspiring the community. I wanted to check with you, how is it over there, given that the virus is spreading more now in America than in Europe? We're kind of coming out of it, but then you are getting in, and then how is that affecting your businesses, and how are you strategically answering to such challenge?
Yeah, we've been in it for a while too, but obviously the sheer size of America, and I think America was a little bit slow in its reaction, so I think we're paying the price for that. And then on the flip side, there's so many people that are antsy that are now starting to go outside, so it's going to be an interesting time to navigate. Some of our businesses were very heavily hit. We have a production facility, all production stopped. We have a speaking bureau, all speaking stopped. So there's definitely some pickles to get around. I've been getting through it by realizing this is what I've signed up for. I'm an entrepreneur and a CEO that understands that when the times are tough, it's most on me. And so I've been navigating, a lot of our biggest clients, the biggest companies in the world that you would never think that would struggle to pay or not want to pay. We've had some liquidity events, and so it's been a challenge, but we're fighting, we're pushing through, and I'm confident that we come out of this stronger as an organization. And so what I'm looking to do is just keep my head down and operate. I'm trying to be a good leader, interact with my people, with all my leaders, with random employees from the company. I'm in Slack a lot, interact with employees, and I'm checking in on my clients and making sure that they're okay and bringing them value. So it's been a lot of work, all while I'm doing this all-in challenge, and we've raised $40 million for, the Hungry. So I'm trying to do my macro impact on the situation. And then the micro, I'm trying to be the best leader I can. And so it's definitely been a challenge, but this is the part of entrepreneurship that they don't tell you about on Instagram,
It's not the highlight, right? Well, that's I actually wanted to ask you about your leadership style, given that you are running lots of people, and also a part of that you are motivating people around the world. Is that something are you born with that, or is it something you've learned? Have you had any good mentors, and who were your mentors?
I think I was born with it, and I think my mentor, the only two mentors I've ever had are my mom and my dad. And I think a lot of my humanity and kind of like personality comes from my mom. And I think a lot of my work ethic comes from both of them. And I think a lot of my entrepreneurship from my dad. And so, I think I was born with it. And then even the people that were my mentors were the people that birthed me. So I think that, yeah. And then I think it's serendipity, for example, I never, ever thought that I was a front-facing personality. I didn't make my first video until I was 30 years old, and it was a wine video. So, had the internet not come along, I would have been a 90-year-old retailer or businessman, never knowing that I had a macro communication gift. I knew that I was charismatic. I knew that I was a class clown. I knew that people liked me and I liked them. But there was never a point in my life up to being 30, and then even probably took 5 years for me to say, wait a minute. So I would argue there was never a point until I was in my mid 30s that it even crossed my mind that, that I was somebody that people would know at this kind of scale. So I think you're born with it. I think it can be nurtured. And then I think serendipity, right? I think a lot about, some boys are born and tennis courts are built in their backyard, and that is the serendipity, or they would have been a skier or something else. I think that way. Like, I was born in the Soviet Union. What if that wasn't the era when people could come to America? I wouldn't have been in such a capitalistic entrepreneurial environment. I would have been in a more suppressed Soviet environment. And I think I would have ended up being a trillionaire or dead in a ditch somewhere, knowing my personality. And so I think it's all three factors: DNA, environment, and then circumstance once you've been built.
True. Well, I gotta say, fast forward 10 years and you're doing TikTok, huh, for the youngsters. You didn't expect that also from...
No, that's been the most fun addition to my kind of personal brand, getting stopped by 9-year-old boys and girls.
I've seen that. Oh my God. And the guy was like, I know you.
Yeah. That was, I think he's like 14, 15-year-old kid. That was one of the first times it happened. It happened maybe a couple more times in the airport before that, but it was probably the 5th or 6th time when that kid in the street got excited and said TikTok. And that's usually the moment where I quadruple down on something. When I see that, I'm like, okay, let's go really hard. And so, yeah, TikTok's been a lot of fun because, a lot of things I talk about put a lot of pressure on modern day parenting. Mm-hmm. Kids that are 11, 12, 13, 14, I'm definitely getting some interesting notes from parents. So, and I curse, so I have to be empathetic to that, but it's definitely an interesting time.
Tell me more about it. A few questions are actually about TikTok, and how do you, as an older guy, come down on TikTok, which is now an growing network. I mean, I've read your book and I really love it, Crush It, and how you actually describe how you ventured into Musical.ly at that time, right? Lip syncing and but I mean, you should share that if you feel like it.
I do. I want to bring as much value as possible. Anytime there's a big platform, it always gets older eventually. And so first of all, TikTok is just completely not about young kids anymore. Just not. There's an enormous 30, 40, 50-year-old crowd there. That's number one, and that might help some people realize. Number two, if TikTok is meant to be like Vine or Social Cam, two platforms that had a good run, Social Cam 6 months, Vine 2 years, and then disappears, that's okay too, because a lot of the skills you learn there, you learn in a new platform. So the biggest reason that I want people to learn TikTok is it's another communication style that is clearly going to stick, and it's important for people to learn it. And I think that you'll see that the nuance, whatever the biggest social network is in 6-7 years, you'll see DNA traits in TikTok in it. And so I think I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a platform that helps a lot of businesses, ones that don't see the value right now. And for me, I'm always testing, trying new things. I tried something new today that you'll see on TikTok this week, where I'm answering questions rapid fire, and we'll see what happens. So, it's I'm excited about it.
Well, I mean, I can see you always being excited about helping and serving, and I guess that's the core of your entrepreneurial idea, right? To serve.
Thank you for seeing that. Yeah, I'm very attracted to admiration. And I think the only way you become admired is if you bring value. It's different than being popular or famous or known. You could be known for something, Hitler's known. I don't want that legacy, and then you have people who, and this, like, whether it's sport or music or somebody being attractive, there's that, and that's amazing. For me personally, what I like is what I'm being built on is a value exchange, especially because I do my business elsewhere. So I'm not monetizing my audience through my content, which allows for an incredible relationship. It's so pure. I'm there to put out my best advice. There's no catch, and it makes me proud, and it makes me want to leave impact and bring value, and you get, and just leads to good things. I mean, it's the meta of this, right? I'm putting out good content, catches your attention. We get to know each other a little bit more. You ask for this. It makes me happy to do this because I know it's value, right? I know that for a lot of people, for everybody, you know, who's watching right now, obviously you're speaking a different language on this platform, but a lot of my fans have a friend that speaks that language or have parents that speaks that language. And so it's nice to come on and bring value. And then obviously the audience that's here, that's part of your network, just giving them access to me when I wouldn't normally do that. I like that. I'm so grateful that I'm in a position now where when I do something, it brings value to the other person. That's fun. That feels.
Yeah, and actually your 3 books are out in our country.
I'm aware.
And the publishers are actually watching and they said hello. And we're going to give 3 books of yours to people who are watching tonight. So that's good. I wanted to say, well, to kind of ask, given that you know entrepreneurial challenges on both continents, given that you're working in London, your agency is in London as well, and in New York, LA,
and Singapore. So we're in Asia as well.
Okay, so can you compare a little bit the challenges or the way the entrepreneurship is being practiced in all 3 continents?
So entrepreneurship and how my companies work are 2 different. I'll give both answers. Entrepreneurship is a dream in America. It's a religion. You know, in Europe, it used to be 300 years ago, but it is no longer. And so entrepreneurship has far bigger restrictions in Europe. And obviously there's massive fragmentation in Europe. In Asia, entrepreneurship is also a pretty good situation, but it depends on which part. Again, we're talking about an entire region, not just you know, obviously entrepreneurship in China doesn't exist. It's communism / entrepreneurship. So it's very capitalism. So it's very different. You know, Singapore, I think that is very fruitful. I think there's incredible entrepreneurship in Malaysia, Thailand. There's a lot of really fun spots within the region. But America is the crown jewel for entrepreneurship, at least at this point. I do think there's potential in parts of Asia to get to that point over time. Running a corporation, similarly, right? America is going to have looser guidelines with your employees. You know, there's a lot of places right now in Europe that are in big trouble because the economy is getting hit with COVID, yet the laws don't allow the business to survive. It allows the employees to survive. But the problem is the business dies. And so there is nothing for the employee to survive off of. So, you know, I think Europe is in the toughest spot. And honestly, I predict in 300 years, America will look like Europe today. I just think it's the evolution of freedom, because freedom has great ambition to take care of everyone, which then leads to rules that mitigate true supply and demand and entrepreneurial things. And I think rightfully so at times, but I think the human spirit, especially politicians that write laws, eventually go too far, and it starts the process of, you know, of the opportunities and the interests not aligning. And so I think that that's how I see the world. I think Asia attracts me because it has more entrepreneurial spirit than Europe does, in my opinion. And that's why that part of the world has my attention.
Yeah, we spoke about that actually, about Europe being such a complicated place for starting the businesses. What do you think? What startups are the most hit by this situation? I've been hearing that freelancers have suffered the most, given that you dispose them off easily, and when you outsource things, you just kind of say, okay, we don't need you anymore. And then, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Freelance got hit very hard. Obviously travel entrepreneurs, hotel entrepreneurs, live event entrepreneurs. You know, my speaking bureau was on fire. You know, we had me and we had 6 or 7 other exclusive acts, and then people were coming into us and we were getting rev share on acts we were bringing in. So live events, travel, hotel, clothing. You know, there's just not a lot of clothing being bought. Clothing entrepreneurs, fashion entrepreneurs, I think, are getting hit. And definitely anybody who's a one-woman, one-man show, freelancers have been hit very hard.
So how does that look for everybody who's been building their businesses through social media? Say the influencers have been very dependent on promoting products. They
are in better shape because they have a relationship with the end consumer. Freelancers are B2B. I want to work for this company. Somebody business that has customers on the other side or potential customers are in a great place. So a lot of freelancers we're so busy. A lot of freelancers told me, Gary, I don't need to build my brand. I'm busy all the time. Now some of them are emailing me and saying, shit, all 15 of my clients don't need me. I need other customers. I'm like, you should have built your brand.
Mm. So how do you build a brand from scratch? This is another question that they were asking. Basically,
Yep.
How do you position yourself as a brand in a world that is constantly changing by the minute? And how do you start from scratch and avoid being mocked by the community because everybody's mocking you for starting something new or daring?
So if you're worried about mockery, you're very unlikely to succeed. It's just too difficult. There's too many opinions and too much judgment, and there's no hiding when you're building a brand online. So that's just a mental, insecure, secure, confidence, lack of confidence, mother, father, culture thing that you're gonna have to work through. That's more psychologist, that's more therapist, that's more macro thinking than business. On the business front, the good news is every single person started with zero. There's not a person that started with a community. So, it comes down to content. It's just a very boring answer, but the quality of your content, not the production quality, the quality of your words, your thoughts, your output, are the variable of success. The end. And so I think people need to really give that a thought. Are you bringing value to people, or are you putting out content hoping they buy your thing? And I think that spirit matters in building a brand. Talk about what you know and bring the most value to the other person.
You were saying to a 9-year-old boy that had a chat with you that don't look at the likes right now, plan for the next 9 years, or call me in 10 years. Just now enjoy what you're doing and let's see from there on. So do you really think that, because everybody are talking about with this technology, everybody thinks that you can become celebrity overnight and, grow overnight. And how then when you in your book say, well, you got to hustle for years, you got to call people, not call people, DM people, or use the hashtags and take your time, 7 days an hour of research and planning and honest messaging and trying to provide something bigger. I really love that you were very honest about it, but then also people are looking for the formula, like something that is going to quickly give them this bucks that they are looking for. But you have the answer. Come on, you have the garage sale and the eBay, right?
Yeah. I remind people that some athletes take steroids and some people get facial breast and pecs and arm and butt surgeries. Yeah, there's different ways to do things, but the only way to build something real is to really put in the work. And there is no substitute for the work. And yeah, I just, impatience. It's why I talk about patience so much. Lack of patience is most people's vulnerability. Like, it's just an enormous vulnerability for most people. It's unfortunate, but patience is really the punchline. It's the biggest vulnerability of everybody. And so I'm hopeful that, the number one thing that excites me about my popularity is that more people will copy the things that come out of my mouth. And, and I believe in patience and kindness and the real work. And, it took me years. I mean, a decade. I've been doing this every day hard since 2006 in content, and in business since 1998. That's not 2 minutes. And it's really just been a couple years for me to another level. And so, it's a process.
Yeah, I actually met a friend of yours a few years ago in Lisbon. David, I forgot his.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he actually said that he's the guy who cries always when he's sharing. I don't know if you remember him. Anyhow, he said that you guys are good friends, and how you advised him to actually always bring a camera with him because the video content gives you more leverage, meaning you can make out of video photos and short clips, and you can spread across networks. And he never thought of it. And then I saw him all around with camera guy, just following him every single interaction. And I thought it was brilliant. I mean, I don't think I would be able to do it, but well done for that advice. I mean, it gave him a lot of content. I can see him always posting. David Meltzer, I think.
David Meltzer, yeah, that's exactly right. So I think that's right. But it also could, look, this video show that we just did, and I'm sorry I have to leave in a minute, you know, is 13 to 29 pieces of content. You know, there's 3 Instagram posts here. There's 5 Instagram stories. There's 3 tweets, 7 tweets. There's probably 2 TikToks. There's 1 feed Instagram post. Like there's a podcast if you rip the audio, like post-production.
And so would you say, just as a finish, basically, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, producing what is right and being authentic? It's
about both. The quantity is what I actually want people to do more of. Like I told Dave, like I'm telling you, the quality is subjective.
Yeah.
Not. If you do 93 pieces of content a day, that's not subjective. That means you did 93. If you did one that you liked, but nobody else liked it, that was subjective. And that's why I want to encourage people to build up their self-esteem, because that will give them the power to post more. And the more they post, I genuinely believe the more opportunities will happen.
Okay, but social media is a very personal thing if you're building a brand. And a lot of people are asking agencies to help out because it requires lots of work. Do you think that's going to continue as a trend? Because it's really difficult.
Because I think not everybody's as creative or it comes as natural, or, you know, and I'm okay with that. I think I'd like them to understand social better before they lock in an agency, because I think a lot of people get ripped off. But yeah, I think that's okay. And I think it's going to become so important that it's going to be like an accountant. I think most people are going to bring it in-house.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time.
Great to see you.
I'm really grateful. It was great to have you over, and let's chat again.
I hope so. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, da, sada pređem na srpski. Sad ću da vam uključim komentare. Nadam se da vam je bilo dobro, da ste svi uspeli da dobijete nešto iz ovog razgovora što vam je nedostajalo. Vidim da su ovde thumbs up. Ja sam prezadovoljna i prezahvalna na ovom razgovoru. On uvek nekako pokrije nešto što je ključno. I ja ću zapamtiti ovaj video na ovom profilu Original magazina. I eto, toliko od mene za večeras. Hvala vam svima. Sofija će da napiše uslove za osvajanje knjiga njegovih. Ja sam ih pročitala, naravno i propitala sam ga neke stvari privatno ovako. Što se tiče nekih pitanja koje ste postavili, otprilike pitanja su bila između ostalog i koje su najbitnije mreže. On uvek govori da sve probate i da naučite, da ne otpisujete ništa, tako da uglavnom je sve se svodi na učenje. I to je ono što Original magazin, odnosno platforma, ohrabruje sve vas da radite, to je da radite na sebi, učite, imate otvoren i nađete nešto za sebe, jer uvek ima svuda svega. Thank you guys, everybody. Thanks for joining and all the best to you.